G'day guys and welcome back. In this video we're going to be diving into talking about the LX Torana once again. It's been a pretty hectic week. There's been a lot going on. There's been a lot of work that's been put into the car. Prep work, sanding, blocking, painting, and even laying some colour on. So without further ado, I just wanted to say I wanted to thank everyone that appreciate everyone that got behind the channel on the last couple of videos. I think it was about 2 or 3 videos back, I discussed that I was going to leave the colour up to the viewers. I wanted everyone to start commenting what they thought would be a good colour to paint this car in. And obviously being that the green that it was before, it was a March the 17th green. I don't know if I covered that yet, but it was March the 17th, which is an LJ colour, which is cool. There is a little bit of obviously a period correct colour. LXs I think come out in a very similar shade of green in hatchbacks and sedans. So wanted to get away from the green. Obviously it was a little bit of a darker green, not my cup of tea. And obviously once we decided to change the color, we thought we would let the viewers decide. Now I had a lot of comments from people, metallic colors. There's a lot of nice colors that come out on these cars, and I must say, it did take me quite some time. I was looking through millions of pictures on Google, Facebook, Insta of obviously that L34 and A9X style of Toranas. There's some really nice purples, blues, reds. But one of the colors that I was really set on, I think, painting this car was white. I really do like the basic white with set of GDS rims, black bonnet, lowered nuts. I think that would be the look that I was going for until we had a few people comment orange. Now, obviously I've got my green LC. The old man has a yellow hatchback, the SS. But orange is something that we haven't really covered yet. So I thought, all right, sweet. Looked up A9X oranges and there was a color called Valencia orange. Now, I looked that up, found a few cars, found some pictures of cars in the build that were painted Valencia orange, and they looked nuts. Out in the sun, heaps of shine, lots of depth, and that is exactly what I was after. White hides a lot of that. It tends to hide the shine and reflection in certain lights. In some lights, it's cool. It looks nice. I really do like white, and I was set on painting it white. White is a lot easier, but it is hard to cover and watch and maintain. But obviously when it's dirty, white is not as bad. So anyway, went away from the white, decided to go orange, mainly because this car is originally mandarin orange. Now, didn't want to go mandarin as it is very difficult in the aspects of sometimes it is orange and sometimes it is red, hence the name mandarin orange. So pulled the pin and decided to go Valencia. Found a picture I'll throw up of a Valencia orange A9X on GDS rims with the blackouts, but it had chamois trim, which was the only real difference, and it looked killer. Loved it. Went down to all type paints. Well, the old man did. He went down there, we got 500 mils, and we thought we'll blow in the jams, do the insides of the doors first, and see how it turns out. Came home this week during the week, and he had got the door jams were obviously all ready, and he'd laid on some paint. But when I walked in the shed and I seen the color, I did the old, I'm not sure. It was a little bit of an off brown in the shed without it being in the sun. Had to remove all the plastic, removed all the tape, pushed it out into the sun, and it did look better, but it just wasn't right. And I thought, if I'm gonna go orange, it has to be orange. Like orange in the shade, orange in the sun, orange in the dark, and it's got to stand out. So the Valencia idea was tossed, still got a bit of that paint, and the decision was made. We were going to, after that, Sebring orange, which is a really nice orange, comes out on like LC GDRs, HT Monaros, but it's very similar to the mandarin red. In some light it looks red, in some other light it looks orange. And I was like, I think we just need to do this thing Lone Ranger. Lone Ranger is really nice and it has a lot of brightness to it. It's not dark, it's not an off brown, and it's not like an off orange, if you know what I mean. So anyway, without further ado, let's check it out. We've done some Lone Ranger, we've picked up the paint, Dad's gone down to All Type Paints at Salisbury, and we've ordered the whole lot in Lone Ranger. Check it out. And man, I'm so happy. As soon as I walked in the shed and I seen the color, as soon as I popped the lid off, I was like, that is the color. And I must say, even with the Valencia orange, removed the lid, under the fluoros, it looked mint. Started stirring it, looked fine. Later on, but it was just a little bit of that off orange. So I'll take you around this side. Hopefully the camera lighting really shows up the color and puts it to justice how nice it is. So now this is around 3 or 4 coats of paint, and it's got about 4 coats of clear over the top of that. So obviously 2-pack, but very happy. Like, it's starting to come out absolutely sick. So, I mean, if the rest of the car comes out just as good, I'll be wrapped. This is looking good. So not only is the door jambs done, but also done all the insides of the doors as well, and it is coming out sweet, absolutely wrapped. Now, all that leftover Valencia orange wasn't just gonna toss it. So instead of the insides of the doors being dry where the door trims will go, they have been covered in a light coat of that Valencia orange, and then have gone over it with Lone Ranger instead of wasting too much of the Lone Ranger on the whole lot. So I'll turn some of these lights on. And while I'm there, I'll also mention thanks heaps to the guys, well, Jeff at Talk Hub, for reaching out and commenting regarding the lights flickering in the last video. It's been doing my head in. I apologize. I'd been going through settings, trying to change stuff, and it was just still the same. So if you've had a fit watching my videos, I apologize. But he has reached out and let me know of some settings to try in the GoPro, and it is heaps better, hopefully. But really appreciate that when people like him reach out and you know that they're watching, and not only that, but they are willing to give you their advice and share their time with you. So thanks, man, for reaching out. I really appreciate that. But check out this color. It is absolutely sweet. So all the insides of those doors are now orange. Only thing left to do is the boot. That can be painted orange inside now. All the insides of these guards, they've been all sealed up in orange, and also have painted all the door hinges. So paint stripped all the old ones, had a couple of ones left over from the hatchback build that was zinc plated, and they've been really good to use for the sedan. So have paint stripped, sandblasted them. And then the front doors, the hinge pins were sloppy and it was no good, especially if you want to get door gaps right. So I've gone ahead, Rare Spares do a hinge pin repair kit for these door hinges, and have replaced all the pins in every door hinge. So they're all painted, and I think you'll see on this one, I've just masked up the striker where the hinge kind of slides along that pin, so there's no paint. Doesn't bind up. That can get sprayed in like some lithium grease or paint, some CRC, whatever, as just like a lubrication, so that doesn't bind up. And they have been painted Lone Ranger as well, and clear coated. very happy. It's coming out good. So not only are they fresh, but they can go on the car now, and then we will replace all the bolts in the door hinges with stainless steel bolts. One thing I don't really like or understand why people will put hinges on the car and they will paint them on the car when the door gaps are set. That's cool. But if you ever have to undo the bolts, or you put a socket on it or a spanner, as soon as you go to undo it, the paint tears off of the head, the paint tears away from the hinges, and it needs painting again. It looks terrible. So those hinges are gonna go on, and we can adjust those with some fresh bolts. We'll put all new stainless fasteners in and out, but it's looking good. I'm very happy. We will leave that the way it is. Have started blocking the roof back during this week. The body can sit in this primer stage for a little bit. The shrinkage process and the curing, I guess you could call it, can happen, but it is getting there, and I'm very happy. Glad that I made the call to change it. The Valencia just didn't sit right. I mean, if you paint the color on and you stand back and you don't get excited, it's not the right color. So I'm very glad that I changed that and went to the Loner Ranger. So the Loner Ranger is actually the original color of my LC, and I see it now and I go, "Ooh, wouldn't have looked too bad." But at the time I thought, nah, I might get bored of it, and the liniment green just stood out. So that's why I went down that route, but no regrets there. Absolutely love that color. I think with the orange LX Anon X paint scheme, with the green LC, which is mint green, and the canary yellow hatchback, they all look absolutely mint, all lined up together. So pretty keen to get this done, and shaping up to look pretty good. So obviously moving forward with the car, there's still, a lot of work to do. So there's no obviously massive rush, but I still want to keep continuing the progress and keep it up each week. So hopefully by the next video, you'll see I'm gonna get stuck into putting all them hanging panels back on the car, so the hinges can go back on the car with new bolts. We'll bolt the doors on, the boot, front guards, and then work towards blocking back the car. We'll get the door gaps set first, and then I'll run a pinstripe tape maybe, or roll a straight black line along the car, and then start blocking the car towards the body lines, and then get the car nice and flat and straight as much as possible. So then after that, obviously I've got to move towards doing the engine bay. So I think when it comes to doing that, I'm gonna drop the cross member out, complete with the engine and gearbox still stuck to it, and then work towards doing the engine bay side of things. So I'll probably bare metal that. It's not too bad of a job to just get in there, paint strip what's on it instead of removing or sanding back what's there. And then it can get into welding up all the holes that I won't need. Obviously might put a brake booster back on it and an original master cylinder the way that they were. If I can get my hands on a booster, I'll do that. And then we can work towards doing the rest of it. But in the meantime, obviously got to start working towards blocking back this whole outside shell, getting it straight, and hopefully by the next video, the car might have color all over it. So stay tuned. Making progress each week, so it's hard. Obviously, I'd like to get a video out each week and show you heaps of different changes, but there's just a lot of work involved. And when you work 8 hours a day at one job and then come home to do this as a hobby or a bit of an obsession, as I might call it, it's hard. So just got to keep at it, make progress, keep the head down and keep making progress, which is good. So anyway, appreciate you all for watching. Like, subscribe, do all the things you got to do. Keep up to date with the channel, and I will see you all on the next one. Cheers.